Chandra ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes. Good morning, all. I would like to introduce our guest speaker of this morning session, Dr. M. Pallikonda Rajashekaran, Professor, ECE, Kalasalingam University. He is a professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at Kalasalingam University. Dr. Pallikonda Rajashekaran received his PhD in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from Anna University, Chennai in 2009. His MTech in Biomedical Signal Processing and Instrumentation from Shastra University in 2002, and his BE in Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering from Bharatdasan University in 2001. His research interests include biomedical instrumentation, image processing, wireless sensor networks, high performance computing, sensor systems, cloud computing, semantic networks. He has published numerous technical papers in referred conferences and journals in these areas. He is a senior member of the International Association of Computer Science and Information Technology, Asia Pacific Chemical, Biological Environment Engineering Society, Biomedical Society of India, and Indian Society for Technical Education. With this small introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. M. Pallikonda Rajashekaran. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, madam. Let me share the screen.
Thank you, sir.
Is it visible and audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you for the introduction. And I am Dr. M. Pallikonda Rajashekaran, professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering, Kalasalingam University. So basically, I am from Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering graduate and started working in wireless sensor networks and image processing. We have a good image processing group here, and we are mainly focusing on image segmentation to identify the tumors, and we are focusing on image reconstruction, and then we are focusing on gallbladder stone. And now recently we have started to collect the information about the orthoporesis diseases for the elderly woman patients. That is a knee problem using DEXA images. And we have numerous publications in this image processing. Here in this presentation, I have prepared my presentation in such a way that we will be concentrating on two important cases. One is cancer and Alzheimer's diseases. And the first few slides will focus you about the statistics of cancer and Alzheimer's disease, and slowly we'll go into the soft computing techniques. And two case studies also we have taken, how the images is captured, what are the algorithms we have implemented, and how the tumor is segmented, how the tumor is classified, and how the Alzheimer's disease is identified. So likewise, we have prepared the presentation here. So at the next 60 to 70 minutes, you will be hearing a lot of medical oriented terms and also the soft computing techniques, which many research scholars, many researchers can utilize this, and they can go ahead in their research work. So first of all, a slight introduction about the report from various agencies. There is International Agency of Research and Cancer, statistics worldwide. You can see the fact sheets. There are two things here. It is a cancer death and also the new cancer diseases. You can see the incidence, mortality, and precedence. This is the terms used in the various reports related to our medical. They have analyzed from 185 countries and 36 types of cancers they have collected. And with this data statistics, you can see from 2040, you can expect around 16.3 million deaths occurs due to cancer, and 27.5 new cases will be there during 2040. And you can see here, this is the incident cases, prevalence cases, both Asia, you can see the Asia 48.4, 57.3 and 39.7. And cancer incidence and mortality 5-year statistics worldwide. It is 7.6 billion of world population in the year 2018. And here it is a cancer types: breast cancer, oral cavity, pelvic uterine, lungs, stomach cancer, and other cancers, and how it is from male and female and both the cases. New case you can see 5.7, 5.8 and 1.15, both cases. So the severity of the cancers, and here you can see this is the International Agency for Research on Cancer. They have predicted the cancer 2040. So a lot of research is going on, and a lot of research, open research problems are there in the cancer. Estimated ages, you can see here: breast cancer, prostate, lung, brain, stomach, liver, thyroid, ovary. So all types of cancers, it comes maximum between 20 to 40 age group here. It is as per the statistics. And here you can see, out of 7.6 billion of world population, cancer is the second leading cause of death globally, and is responsible for an estimate of 9.6 in 2018. And it is of 1 in 6 deaths due to cancer. And by 2035, almost 15 million cancer-related deaths per year are forecasted. As I said earlier, the incidence, mortality, and prevalences. Incidence is the number of new cases, and mortality is the number of death cases, and prevalence is the number of patients alive after being diagnosed through the fixed time in the specific period. You can see this statistics, Globocon 2018. In worldwide, it is 19th, and currently it is 18th, and in India it is 10th rank. In 2017, World Health Assembly proposed cancer burden has been reduced through clinical evaluation, diagnosis, and staging and assessment to treatment. So this is possible because of various researchers, various semi-automated, and fully automated algorithms we have developed, and it helps the physicians to detect the diseases earlier, diagnosing the brain cancer, the level of severity and stages, everything has been detected by the algorithm we have developed. And this MRI and CT are used to diagnose the brain cases, especially where MRI plays a vital role in diagnosing the tissues more than the CT, and image segmentation is used to identify the pathologies present in the medical images. So most common type of brain tumor among the adults, you can see here, malignant. And most common type of primary brain tumors in children will be medulloblastoma, grade 1 and grade 2. And 40% of cancer spread in brain. Unnecessary growth, you all know it is the unnecessary growth when the body does not requires them, it is the tumor they have defined. And abnormal cells within any part of the brain. You can see the statistics. The amount of 40,000 to 50,000 new brain tumor cases are reported in India, where 20% of cases are from brain tumor in children, and the amount is over 2,500 per each year. And 26%, it is the second most common cancer among the children after leukemia. So if it is not done, if it is not detected in the earlier stages, it will be a problem. If you detect it in the early stages, it won't be any problem. So you can see here, the ICMR report also says the same thing. And next case study we are going to have is the Alzheimer's diseases. You all know the Alzheimer's diseases is a neurological disorder, causes memory losses, thinking and behavior. So it is a brain shrinks and the loss of tissues in the brain which causes these diseases. Majority of people with Alzheimer rates are 65 and older. It is not just a disease of old ages, but it is affect 5% from 40 to 50 age group also. Why it is caused? What causes Alzheimer diseases? It involves plaques and tangles formation in the brain and fragmentation of beta amyloid and due to lack of TAU protein. So some loss of tissues in the brain that will be identified by the algorithm while detecting the Alzheimer diseases. So there are like cancer grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Here also we have many stages in Alzheimer diseases. No impairment, memory and cognitive ability appears normal, minimum impairment and early confusion, late confusion that is mild, and the stage 5 is moderate and early dementia, and stage 6 is mild dementia, and stage 7 is severe dementia and failure to thrive. So these are the 7 stages in which we will be having around 3 to 4 stages during our developing the algorithm, and we can able to detect the Alzheimer diseases using the medical images. The symptoms. So for the cancer, you can have more, but in symptoms of Alzheimer diseases, the ability to in and remember new informations. Okay. So the memory lost and difficulty with the familiar tasks, daily tasks, trouble planning on problem solving, misplacing things, confusion with time, place, difficulty in communication, repetitive speech or action, trouble with visual and spatial relationship, and impaired judgment. So these are the various symptoms of Alzheimer diseases. You can see the statistics here. In India, about 65 to 70 years, we have 5 to 6% of people affected in Alzheimer, and 1 in 10 at the age of 65, and 1/3 of people aged 85 have Alzheimer diseases. And overall, we have about 5.8 million people who have Alzheimer diseases. It is estimated in 2020, 70% of world population aged 60 and above will be living in the developing countries, with 14.2 in India. So these two diseases are the most important and dangerous diseases. And you can see here 2015, 46.8 and 74.7 and 131.5. So this is why we have taken these two, cancer and Alzheimer diseases, as a case study for here to detect these diseases earlier using the medical image processing. As you all know that imaging approaches, we have PET scan, MRI, CT, plain X-rays, and ultrasound. Advancement in medical technologies helps the clinical experts to facilitate more efficient e-healthcare system to the patients. Computer vision applications of biomedical imaging is going to be important to provide the recognition information to the radiologist for better treatment related problems. So different medical therapy, these are all the medical imaging techniques which will be helpful for diagnosis and treatment process for the patients. So this is the important slide where many researchers from 1962, they have started collecting the informations on brain image segmentation. These are the various techniques they have used, from contour and shape based, region based, statistical based, multi-resolution analysis based, machine learning, and slowly they have coming to the soft computing techniques. In soft computing also, they are having the hybrid techniques to increase the efficiency, accuracy, precision, and also reducing the computational time. So you can see the lot of algorithms, thresholding algorithms, edge-based algorithms, optimization algorithms, and combination of classification and also clustering algorithms. So this is the important slide where all the research scholars who have done the image brain segmentation techniques, we have listed down. and we have collected all the informations and who have conducted and what algorithm they have used, what hybrid algorithm they have used to identify the diseases at the earlier stage with good accuracy and precision. And now we will slowly go into the soft computing techniques, some basic informations, and slightly we'll go to the case study. Here AI, so everybody knows about this AI making machine intelligent, training the machines to act like the human being. And what is the need of AI in the medical images? It is a non-invasive, quantitative assessment techniques for early detection of any disease is important. Here, with the help of this AI, we will have tumor detection, classification, and quantitative assessments in PET, MRI, CT, which will be done at the earlier stages to identify the diseases. Some quantitative methods of evaluating the medical images, still it is inaccurate and requires considerable computational time to analyze a large amount of data. Okay, still where the diagnosis problem is open and many research scholars are doing, many researchers are doing, and analytical method using AI can improve the diagnostic accuracy and save time. And goal of AI includes learning, reasoning, and perception. So here you can see Alan Turing gave much thought to this question. He believed that the machine could be created that would mimic the process of human being. As I said earlier, we are going to train the machine. Strongly believed that it was there was nothing the brain could do that well-designed computer could not. While success, there are many diplomatic questions will be there. Can the computer be intelligent? Still, it is under the research, and no, still some solutions. There is still some complex problems of modeling has not been able to done with the computer intelligence. And hard computing and soft computing. Here, traditional AI, the precision and certainty. Soft computing exploits the tolerance of imprecision, uncertainty, and partial truth. And next comes the computational intelligence. In 1994, the Bentuck has introduced this, and it is a subset of artificial intelligence and two types of machine intelligence, that is artificial based hard computing and computational based soft computing, which enables the adaptation of many situations. And it is an adaptive mechanism to enable or facilitate the intelligent behavior in complex and changing environments. And this is the 5 main paradigm of computational intelligence. That is ANN. These are the various techniques: ANN, evolutionary computation, artificial immune system, swarm intelligence, and fuzzy systems. So some basic information about this. ANN, mathematical representation of human neural architecture reflecting its learning and generalization abilities. For this reason, AI is very useful. Among the automated pattern recognition techniques, ANN has demonstrated an efficient and accurate algorithm in order to implement computer-aided diagnosis, which helps in the assisting the physicians in managing the patients. Okay, so what is our duty is to help the physicians in identifying the diseases, assisting the physicians. And here you can see the classification, prediction, detection, quantification, event classification, automatic detection, and alert monitoring, optimization. So several applications of ANN has been developed here. And these are various design issues we will be having during the development of algorithm using ANN: weights, transfer function, linear, threshold, and nonlinear, and error estimation, weight adjusting, number of neurons, data representation, and size of training set. These are the issues we have to take care while developing the artificial neural networks. And here, there is no prior assumption about the data distributions. AI adjust themselves to particular problem during the learning process, and it is a universal estimator able to match any function with accuracy, and it is a nonlinear algorithm able to model real-world complex relationships. So maximum it will be using, we are using this for a classification problem, prediction problem, detection problem, and alert monitoring problem, and also it is used for optimization also. And evolutionary computation, it is also a subset. Here you can able to see the health technology researchers brings together complementary indisciplinary research skills in the development of innovative health technology applications. And here this EC, which is a subset of AI, is an effective algorithm for global optimization inspired by biological evolutions. So it is used to solve hard problems. So evolutionary algorithm is applied to solve the medical problems, including diagnosis, imaging, signal processing, planning, and scheduling. One of the major challenges is the extraction of comprehensible knowledge for medical diagnostics data. Hybrid evolution techniques can be employed for better understanding and prevent unwanted medical events. So for detecting purpose, we can use this evolutionary computation. Next is artificial immune system. So biological immune system defends the body from the entering the foreign substances known as antigens. So it has immense capability to recognize and distinguish between the foreign cells entering into the body and preventing that to cause damage in our body. So like that, the same strategy and the same concept, we are using it for artificial immune system. It is a popular computational system inspired from theoretical immunology, observed immune function principle to solve engineering applications. It is also a nonlinear model for pattern recognition, data analysis, machine learning, for modeling the real-time engineering problems with a hybrid system also. You can see here, there are various applications we are using here for computer security, anomaly and virus detection, optimization, machine learning, pattern recognition, clustering, and many artificial immune system combines with other techniques, that is other AI techniques like Fuzzy, biological inspired neural networks. So we can use it as a hybrid techniques to solve the problems. Not only in medical images, it can also used in fault diagnosis, computer security, novelty detection, and robot behavior. And swarm intelligence, it is also a part of AI, but the difference here is it will be using a natural inspired algorithm that mimics some natural phenomena. So very popular in solving the complex optimization problems with the degree of complexity and helps in diagnosis of deadly diseases. So here the communication, that is a social interaction or information sharing observed in social inspects, is important in all forms of swarm intelligence, including stochastic diffusion search, which mimic the behavior of some species such as ants, bees. You can see here. Some sort of. There are 6 algorithms under the swarm intelligence. It is a GA, ant colony optimization, particle swarm optimization, differential equation, evolution, artificial bee colony, and glowworm swarm optimization, and cuckoo search algorithm. So GA, it is a search optimization algorithm based on the mechanics of natural selection process, and it is from 1975. And ant colony optimization, it is a meta-heuristic approach inspired by AND system proposed by Margot in 1992, and PSO, it is mostly used in all optimization technique initiated by Kennedy in 1995, and it is a single mechanism that mimics the swarm behavior in birds, focking fish scheduling to guide the particle to search the global optimization solution. And DE, it is a population-based algorithm that can be considered along with GA. The difference between this is GA is constructing better solution. DE realizes the mutation operation while GA realizes the crossover operation. That is the two difference, basic difference between GA and DE. And another one thing is last artificial bee colony. It is from 2005, inspired by the intelligent behavior of honeybees in searching of their foods, rector, sharing of information about the food sources. So that is the concept behind this. And Glossom optimization, it is also optimized multimodal functions. And cuckoo search, inspired by the behavior of cuckoo species. It is from 2009. So these are the various optimizations which use the behavior of species. And next one is fuzzy systems. Fuzzy logic introduced in 1965. It is an organized method in dealing with the imprecise data. It is a multivariate logic, allows intermediate values between like true or false, yes or no type. It is fuzzy is a what I can say, it's a emerged its application in controlling and steering the systems, widely used in industrial process as well as the segmentation of MRI images. It requires sufficient knowledge for formulation of rules, combination of sets and defalsifications. It is an approach of uncertainty and it resembles the human reasoning and approximate informations and uncertainty to generate decisions. This is bio-inspired algorithm, the social spider algorithm, have made significant progress in both understanding neuroscience and biological systems, applies to various fields. It is adapted by taking the behavior of spider species presented in many works to solve various optimization problems like economic load dispatch problem, fault diagnosis in power distribution network. By exploiting the web building behavior of spiders, the bio-inspired algorithm is used for image segmentation process of medical images. You can see here the basic block diagram, ultrasound, which this bio-inspired algorithm we have used for detecting the gallbladder stone. So initially we will be taking the ultrasound images of gallbladder and doing the pre-processing steps, the segmentation using the spider web algorithm. It is just a choosing of pixel intensity, same pixel intensity. If the pixel intensity is same, then it will go to the next pixel. If the pixel intensity is not the same, and it will again search for the same kind of intensity and generate that output. So here we are given in a step-by-step procedure. You can see in the A column, you can see the X, the pixel A is moved to the same intensity of pixel nearby and it develops the web. Likewise, we will be identifying in the same intensity pixels and we will be identifying the gallbladder stone. So you can see in the B, C, D, it will move the spider, like spider, the pixel, we are moving into the same intensity and we are detecting the area of the gallbladder stone. Finally, if there is no same pixel intensity is there, then the solution, optimized solution will be occurred here. The spider moves back to the pixel A, which could not find the same intensity of the pixel nearby. The biological inspired algorithm is presented for automatic segmentation of gallbladder. So we have used here. And the segmentation is based upon the spider web construction. And you can see here, I can give back to, oh, this, yeah, here you can see, this is the input image and conventional active contour model. We have taken the boundaries and segmented output and segmented images using proposed intrinsic fuzzy active contour model and segmented output. So this is a gallbladder stone. The intrinsic fuzzy active contour model is alternative to the fuzzy set, can be used to simulate the human decision making process. You can see the segmented output for 3 different images taken from the gallbladder of 3 different patients. Segmented output, image segmented, proposed intuitionistic fuzzy active contour model. The fuzzy active contour model has been applied in image segmentation, reducing the error by hard division effectively. Introduces the membership degrees to identify them. You can see here, this is also sample images. So these are the various images we have taken for identifying the gallbladder segmentation. And next comes to the deep learning, and which is recently many researchers are talking about this deep learning. And initially the deep learning was not used in the medical purposes, but slowly it start using this deep learning in many medical applications. It's a type of machine learning on artificial intelligence, imitates the way of human gain certain types of knowledge. Important element in data science, statistics prediction and modeling, and useful for the scientist who collects large amount of data. The only thing here in deep learning is we need to have a large number of data, analyzing, interpreting the large amount of data to get the good optimized results. And this deep learning, from the survey, we found that it makes faster and easier to come to the conclusion. You can see identifying related data set, that will be a main problem here, and prepares them for analysis. So we have to take large number of data set, relevant data set, and we have to prepare them for analysis, taken into the feature selection, and choose the type of machine learning and build an analytical model by choose algorithm and train the model and test the data set and generates the scores and then findings from the algorithm. So this is the one. And this algorithm is mainly used for object detection, speech, face detection, and now this deep learning is used in many medical images. You can see is currently most commonly used in image recognition tool, language processing, speech. This you can hear it in customer experiences, that chat boxes and text generations, and aerospace and military to detect the objects from satellites that identifies the area of interest, as well as the safe and unsafe zone for the troops. So these are the applications where the deep learning is used. And industrial automation, safety in environments like factory, warehouses, where the workers or object is getting close to a machine. So warning, alerting system, alert monitoring, and adding colors adding to black and white photos and videos using the deep learning models. It is a quite interesting application. And now medical research, cancer researchers have started implementing deep learning into the practices to detect automatically the cancer cells. And the other applications, they are used in computer vision, enhanced computer vision, providing computers with extreme accuracy for object detection and image classification, restoration, and segmentation. And the biggest limitations in deep learning, as I said earlier, we need to have large number of data, and if the model trains the data contains bias, the model will produce those bias in its predictions. So it is obviously, if the data we gathered is very small, then the prediction will also have, we can't able to get the correct prediction using the data. So the learning rate can also be a male challenges. If the rate is too high, the model will converge too quickly, producing a less optimal solution. So the rate is too low, the process may stuck, and it will even harder to reach the solution. We can't able to come to the conclusion. And various research issues in MR brain image segmentation. Here you can see in earlier ages, the segmentation of medical images has been done by experts and well-handling radiologists. High time consumption, expenses, and it even provoked the human errors. Multimodal MR images were not used, and heterogeneous types of tumors were not segmented, and various parameters we need to add to increase the accuracy and precision, and minimized computational time is required, and reducing the complications in the manual interaction, and also using the large amount of data. So these are the various research issues. And the one main thing is a simultaneous segmentation of tumor and tissues are not available here now. So for these research issues, if you have a solution and if you can help our physicians to detect the disease earlier, it is always good. You can see here, there is less number of papers in deep learning applications to the brain tumors. You can see method analysis, framework, architecture, development studies, algorithm, and review. So they slowly started employing this deep learning applications in segmentation, image segmentation. You can have some 50 papers in the segmentation area. That too, while we are analyzing for gallbladder, only 6 to 7 papers were there in the gallbladder segmentation itself. So only we have taken the bio-inspired algorithm for detecting the gallbladder stone, gallbladder segmentation. And you can see here the literature brain tumor using the deep learning. They have used the various surveys here in the topic of brain tumor segmentation, exploring deep features for brain tumor classification, framework for brain tumor prediction, evaluation, and critical case studies and reviews. So you can see there are many papers started coming in the area of deep learning, especially in the segmentation region. That too, many in automatic segmentation, and you can see the enhanced approaches towards segmentation and approaches towards automatic segmentation. Many deep learning papers are coming here. I will also list some of the few interesting papers in the next few slides. You can see, all the researchers during my previous lectures also, many has asked about this MR brain images, where we can able to get the MR brain images. What is the difference between these images? And how data sets are selected, how it is validated, how it is verified. So such questions are coming. So for this, so here this is the types of MR brain images. You can always say T1, T2. So everybody will know about T1, T2 FLAR images. So the difference is the thickness representation using TR and seconds how many seconds it is acquired. So T1 weighted images, its thickness size is 4m, and repetition time we will be calculating for these images, it is TR. The T1 will be of 10 milliseconds and T2 is 5 and the repetition rate is 117 milliseconds, and epoxy time, that is TE. This is TE and TR is the most important time for getting this T1 and T2. So T1 it will be of 10 milliseconds and TR, and TE for T2 is 550 milliseconds. And another one thing is photon density images, potentially characteristics of both T1 and T2 make better representation. And the FLAR images you can see here, finally we have a FLAR images which has the thickness of 5 and TR is of 10 milliseconds and epoxy time of 550 milliseconds. And we have the inversion time here, T1 of 250 milliseconds. These are the specifications of T1, T2 FLAR images. And we have a multi-planar reconstruction axial images with better contrast enhancement, helps to visualize the brain autonomy in all possible axes, and it has the thickness of 0.7, TR of repetition time of 4.52 milliseconds, and T epoxy time of 1160 milliseconds, and contrast and images, enhanced images for better view of abnormal masses. Here you can see here, the next slide will give you. So in the brain data set, we have without noise and with noise also available in our database. You can see already the researchers has added the percentage of noise in the image, and they have validated the images, and they have also published their results in the dataset page, dataset website itself. So that data can be acquired, and that we can also use for our own algorithm, and we can validate. Okay. So this is the clinical data set. What we have using, maximum we will be using standard data set from web, and also we will be collecting real-time images from the neighboring hospitals, which we have done a MOU. Here we have 4 types, that is clinical data set, Harvard Brain Web repository, and Brain Web simulated brain database, and BRACS 2013 challenge dataset. So it is very interesting. So they have already tested the images, and they have given the validation, and they have also given the percentage of noise included, and without including also the images are there. So with this databases, we can able to implement the same using our algorithm and validate it. And you can see this 4th point, the challenge data set. We have taken about 50, and it is a low grade, high grade tumors, inclusive of ground truth images for effective validation. So 25 MR brain slices for each grade, it is available, and it is already tested and validated by the research team. So it will be useful for us. And the percentage of noises, they have taken as 1%, 5%, 9%, 10%. So whatever noises we can we need, we can always include it in our research, and you can get the validated output, and we can able to compare the result with their result, and we can validate it. You can see this is a general block diagram. Before going to the case studies, this is a general block diagram where we can able to pre-process the input images, and we will be using the contrast limited adaptive histogram. It is just for as a pre-processing input images for getting the improved contrast images of the region, clear vision. The borders and boundaries between the tumors and tissue regions will be enhanced here with the reduced noise signals, and clustering. We will be using fuzzy to reduce the rate of human intervention. Fuzzy C means, we have used fuzzy C means, fuzzy K means, and modified fuzzy C means and fuzzy K means, updating the membership function. You can see here. And after that optimized value by optimization algorithm, we will be finaling clustering through optimized value and segmented, and we will be testing with the ground truth images and benchmark metrics. And these are all the various performance evaluation metrics we will be using for the algorithms. Mean square error, this is a generic thing. Mean square error, peak signal to noise ratio, Jaccard index, dice overlap index, sensitivity, specificity, similarity index, and also the computational time. Usually, while we are taking the data set from the website, it will be okay. But when we are going to get the real-time images from the hospitals, we need to get the specification of MRI. So usually MRI in our hospital, in nearby hospitals, they are using the Siemens 1.5 Tesla with 48 channels. So this will be a useful information for the scholars. So the slide thickness, it is the most important thing. 1 cross 1 cross 1, and we have been using this BFO based with fuzzy C-means and also K-means. The BFO is algorithm which uses the behavior of E. coli bacteria. You can see here the data set we have taken from Hayward brain image, and we have tested using the pre-processing technique, CLAHE, histogram equalization technique. Using this, we can able to get the clarity of images. And again, we have taken this modified K-means. And also next one, you can see we have taken the BFO algorithm with MFKM results. You can see here the ability to produce the quicker segmentation results with the BSO based FCM and FKM algorithms. Average of duration is 10.3 seconds. You can see we have taken the images of age of 32 suffering from high grade astrocytoma from clinical database, and using this MFKM, we can able to segment the tumors here. This is T2 axial and T1 sagittal. These two images we have taken. In the first images, we have taken 2 T1 and 1 T2, and next is images two T2 and 1 T1 with axial we have taken here, and you can able to get the clear picture of the tumor here using this BFO and MFKM. You can see here. Next, you can see the axial and transverse images. This is a T1 image with 5% noise level we have taken. You can see able to see the color differentiation between this. 3 patients affected with the different diseases. We have used the color mapping default which is available in the MATLAB. And why we have taken this FKM is the quick convergence and neighbor pixel, maybe comparing the neighbor pixel intensity and modified FKM, the weight vector, the pixel intensity to delete the consequences. We are using this MFKM, the tissue segmentation. And in the second slide, you can see second picture, you can see the tumor region detected using BFO MFKM. We have segmented the tumor region from the input images, and we have tested using the ground truth images available in the BRATS 2013 challenges. So you can see the you cannot able to see many changes between these last two columns. How our algorithm behavior in detecting the tumor disease, tumor from the input images, and how the ground truth images from the data set already available, tested and validated gives the same results. the MR brain images of 3 patients affected with the different types of low-grade acute from BRATS 2013. We have taken the images from BRATS 2013 and we have implemented using MFKM and also BFO MFKM, and we have segmented the tumor region from the input images, and it is compared with the brain truth images of BRATS 2013, which has no differences here. You can see. And the next thing also, next we have taken FLAR images. In addition to the T1, T2, we have taken the FLAR images and we have given the similarity index and overlap fraction, sensitivity and specificity here. You can see the last 3 columns, that is MFKM results. You can see the tumor region in green color, and BFO MFKM using this pixel intensity optimization techniques, best pixel intensity and center and group of pixel they have identified, and they have segmented the tumor region using BFO MFKM. And it is also compared with the ground truth images of BRATS 2013 challenge databases. You can able to see the similarity of both algorithms. And finally, you can see the computational time with the various algorithms we have used. We have from right hand side to left hand side, you can see the SOM FKM, fuzzy, K-means, self-organizing, graph cut based clustering, entropy based clustering, kernel based clustering, FCM, PSO FCM, BFO MFKM. You can see if we compare the BSO FCM, we can able to get the computational time much better. That is less computational time to segment the tumor in the images. By the same thing, you can see here the performance metrics also, the similarity index, overlap fraction, sensitivity and specificity. You can see the BFO MFKM gives the better results when compared to the both things. And this is another one thing we have taken for high grade from clinical database. You can see here the input images, the same pre-processing, MFCM. We have used here MFCM. Slow convergence. It will visit all the pixels during the computation. Energy value, vector value, we will be fixing the energy value and vector, weight vector alpha, and we will be randomly checking the pixels, all pixels, and iteration will be stopping at any condition. And here, if you combine this BFO and MFCM, here we can able to see the convergence rate is quicker. Here you see here. Here we are using MFCM along with BFO for getting better results. We have used this 5% noise level, and we have compared the results with the ground truth images of BRATS 2013 challenges. You can able to see the similarities here using our algorithm and also with the BRATS 2013 challenges. Here the objective function is taken without disturbing the iteration. Here for MFCM, you can see compared to MFCM, here we can able to get quicker the results. The timing you can see 7.9. A BFO MFKM, it is 10.3 and it is 7.9. You can see the similar index, overlap fraction and specificity also you can see. MFCM here it is the next images with the T2, T1 coronary we have taken from clinical database and also the Harvard database. Here the input images after getting pre-processing techniques we have combined with MFCM. BSPO here we have additionally in addition to BFO we have taken a particle sum optimization, BFO and then MFCM. So we have taken these three and we combinedly getting the results. First MFCM, you can see in the next slide, you can see the better clarity. PS, BFO plus clustering, double optimization technique with the fitness value, locally best global maxima, we will be handling this. And you can see the results of MFCM results, PS that is optimization, BFO and then clustering. And tumor region detected using the PS, BFO and MFCM we have given. And the same thing has been tested using the ground truth images. We have compared the ground truth images of BRACH 2013. You can see the similarity level. And this is the another case study of Alzheimer's diseases. You can see, as I already informed you about the Alzheimer's diseases, the loss of tissues in the image brain will cause these Alzheimer's diseases, the memory loss. So here the input images we have taken and skull stripped images, enhanced images, gray matter, white matter and cerebrospinal fluid. Here it has been taken with the differentiation of pixel values. The gray matter is 155 to 189 and white matter is 190 to 227 and CCSP is 80 to 155. The skull region is 227 values. You can see the better clarity of input images. Here also we have used the MFCM with the PSO results. Here we will be using the adapt booster and information fuzzy network classification, and then we will be using this MFCM and BSO results for getting the better clarity. If you are using the better clustering techniques, we can able to get good performances here in segmenting the diseases. Here we have also used GLCM feature sets to extract the features, and then we can go for this. You can see here we have used intuitionic fuzzy results. The pre-processing technique is the same, and the feature selection only we are changing the feature selection sets and using the adapt booster, and then we are doing the segmentation technique here. The loss of brain tissues, it is another set of data with the basis of pixel values. We have been able to get the gray matter, white matter and cerebrospinal fluids. And here, as I already said, some interesting papers which they have already been taken for survey, and what all the techniques they have used and what are the data sets, maximum used data sets by the researchers in the field of deep learning. We have collected a set which we have been published in the survey papers. You can see here many data sets they have used: BRATS 2013, 15, 16, and the BrainX medical images, BRATS and brain tumor dataset 2017, cancer imaging archive, Hayward medical device. Here you can see, and also in the same thing here the accuracy they have listed. We have compared the accuracy and also what proposed solution they have done and what are the methods they have been able to do and what is the year of publication. So this is the collection list for better understanding of methods they have used and also the accuracy. You can see the maximum accuracy will be of 98 and deep 97 in this slide. Deep convolution neural network, 97 convolution neural network, ELM, LRF, and multi-view deep learning framework, accuracy of 88. CNN they have used. What type of images? FLAR images, random forest classifier. So they are differentiating the algorithm using the classifiers. Convolution neural network, linear discriminant with the accuracy of 68. Adaptive ANN 98%. Modified level set approach. Here you can see 99. Fused adaptive features. Deep convolutional neural networks 95. So these are the various papers published in the deep learning for brain tumor, feature selection, evolution, and framework. Here you can see various parameters they have used in identifying the brain tumor segmentation. Deep convolutional neural network, 3D conditional generative neural network, fully convolutional network, simple fully convolutional networks, random forest. So here also you can see the hybrid combination of one or two to increase the accuracy, precision. So here is this is the open challenge in brain tumor analysis. And research gaps identified. This will be useful for many researchers who is doing the research. The volume of tumor, normal tissue structures. There is a lot of open research going on here. And similarly, new combination of optimization, soft computing technologies to improve the segmentation efficiency. So as I said, the hybrid algorithm, but some of the hybrid algorithms will get the low precision and accuracy, but the choosing of algorithm has to be there to get the more precise and more accuracy, and processing time should be downsized considerably. At the same time, the processing time we are taking the consideration. At the same time, the accuracy and precision level should be maintained. In some algorithms, we can get quickly we can get the answer, but the accuracy and precision will be low. So such conditions you can see in our case also. If you see the FCM, FKM, you can able to get it in quick time, but the precision and accuracy will be low. But at the same time, if you combine with 2 or 3 algorithms, that is the BSO, MFKM, you can see that time will be slightly increased, but the accuracy and the precision sensitivity will be good. So likewise, you have to take care of both in the balanced level. And segmentation of functional MFRI and MRS and PET images obtained above techniques, which could really serve as a benefactor for medial image analyzing. The application of methodologies to detect and examine the pathologies in different organs of a body, kidney, liver, lungs, etc. Research is going on. And the final thing is everybody is working on the software part, and many work can be done in the hardware part also by embedding the programs into FPGA. We can identify and visually we have a hardware prototype for visualization of abnormal tissues as the presence of brain slice of a patient. That is also a possible. And in the recent few years, deep learning has gained central position in the automation of our daily life compared to the traditional machine learning algorithm. Based on the performances, many researchers believe that in the next 15 years, the deep learning will take over the human and most of the daily activities the performed autonomous machines. However, the deep learning in medical is quite slow. As I already said, there are very limited papers in deep learning. That too in classification and segmentation, we have very few papers now. But in future, it will have a good number of papers when we have take care of the challenges in the deep learning to deal with the complex healthcare data effectively. As I said earlier, the deep learning needs more data, more large number of data sets so that the accuracy of the final thing can be get. We can get good, effective, accurate, segmented output if you have a huge number of data sets available. So that is only one negative part in this, but slowly we can able to solve these challenges. And deep learning in the next few years, deep learning will have more applications in health, that too in image segmentations. And finally, and recently we have published a IEEE Explorer paper with the impact factor of 9.5 in smart identification of topography anomalies in brain MRI with the fish-school based fuzzy clustering approach. The fuzzy clustering approach is a normal technique, and we have used the fishy school based thing to identify the anomalies in the brain MRI. It is an automated algorithm for identifying the brain tumor in a brain images. And thank you. And more often, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. And there are many researches are going on in image processing, as you all know. But we are talking about brain, gallbladder, lungs, kidney, breast cancers, and still there are many areas where we can able to do the research, such as retinal images, chest radiography. So in the recent past, due to this corona, many researchers started for chest radiography, that too in X-rays, digital X-rays, and now they are started doing in DEXA images also, and estimating the lung cancer. 3D constructions, 3D construction or reconstruction of organs using 2D images. Okay, that also slowly they are started using this. And face emotion recognition, that also they have started doing research in face recognition. So these are the various areas where we can able to do the research. If you have any doubts in this, you can always ask me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, participants, do you have any doubts? Want to clarify anything? Sir, I have one question.
Tell me, madam.
So, machine learning and deep learning, there's a processing time difference. So if we go for deep learning, have to increase number of hidden layers, so processing time would be higher. So how can we reduce that processing time, sir?
Madam, as I already said, we can use you can see in my slide itself, you can see the traditional algorithm like FCM, FKM will have more time to converge towards the good results. Okay, but if you include the hybrid algorithms, like I have tested using 2 to 3 algorithms, finally we concluded that the BFO, MFKM can be, the results can be get in the minimum computational time with good results. Okay, it is a randomly selected only. We have tried for two to three algorithms, but with the results we got it, we able to convince that this BFO, MFCM has better results and in less computational time. So it is a random select only, madam. We can't able to because it depends upon the images we have and also the system we are doing and also the tumor size. It is in the images, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any queries from the participants? Can chat. Can unmute yourself, ask the question, or you can post your queries in the chat box. Okay. Shubha ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am.
உங்களோடது வந்து வாய்ஸ் ரொம்ப பிரேக் ஆகுது. ஓகே, நான் good morning, participants. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Biomedical Engineering, PSNA CET. I would like to thank Dr. M. Pallikonda Rajashekaran, who gave a very nice talk on artificial intelligence and machine learning in biomedical application. I'm sure the participant would be highly benefited from his talk. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Shall I leave, madam?
Yes, sir. You can leave, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, madam. You can provide the PPTs and the relevant material.
So it is actually available in YouTube links, sir.
Okay.
Whole session.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. We have a short break. We'll again join by 11:30 a.m. Okay. The next session. Thank you, participants.
Any feedback on this first session, you can chat here. Chat in the chat box. Okay, we'll meet you by 11:30. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, madam, you are absolutely audible. May I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yeah.
Audible. Okay, we will start now, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. As your wish. I don't have any issue. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll wait for 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. Okay, sir, we'll start. Good morning, participants. Good morning, all. Good morning, participants and guests. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the guest of the speaker of this session, Dr. R. Murugan, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, National Institute of Technology, Silchar, Assam. Dr. R. Murugan received his BE degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering and ME degree in Embedded System Technologies from Anna University, Chennai. He received his PhD degree from Information and Communication Engineering Center for Research, Anna University, Chennai. He is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Silchar, since 2018. He published more than 26 journal publications, 22 conference proceedings, 2 books, 9 book chapters, and 4 patents in his career. His area of interest, which includes biomedical signal and image processing, medical imaging, retinal image analysis, computer vision, pattern recognition, machine learning, and deep learning. He is a reviewer of many reputed journals such as IEEE Transaction on Image, Medical Imaging, Biomedical Signal Processing and Control, etc. He received the Best Reviewer Award from Elsevier Journal Biomedical Signal Processing and Control in 2016. He received Young Scientist Grant from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, for the project and nationwide study of retinal detachment in India, with emphasis on risk of the fellow eye through fundus images using deep learning in 2020. This brief introduction, and now I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Murugan. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thank
Sudha, madam, for a nice introduction.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm very happy to be a part of this faculty development program of organized by the PSNA College of Engineering. So thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to deliver some of my experience with the participants. Yeah, very good morning to all the participants. So be relaxed. I'm just not going to deliver like full-time lecture at this fast coming 1.5 hours. So in between we can talk more because we're connected virtually. Because if you connected in through person, then we can have like some more good experience and also we can have some good experience as well. But this pandemic thought that, so we have connected everywhere through the virtual mode. So anyhow, so we have to do the proceedings, but anyhow, internet is given the good access to all to connecting through this virtual mode. So just imagine without internet, how we'll connect. Okay, so anyhow, good morning all, and I'm very happy to be a part of this particular workshops and this faculty development for my own state. So that's one good thing. And okay, so before getting into my talk or the presentations, I want to know the level of audience. So who are the audience? I think almost 16 audience are in the meeting. All are a teacher of engineering college or any other student or is there? So may I know who the level of audience?
Faculty members.
Yeah, only faculty member. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so today my talk will be actually based on this computer-aided diagnosis. So I'm just working some couple of years with this computer-aided diagnosis. So that may be a part of my today talk, and especially the computer-aided diagnosis in terms of medical imaging perspective. Okay, so you know the importance of medical imaging, like in the field of health. Say in this pandemic time, it is play a more important role and also play a vital role for the diagnosis of this COVID-19 patients, right? So in that way, in many scenario, in many circumstances, like this computer-aided diagnosis help for many people, like for identifying the diseases or diagnosis the diseases and much more. Okay, so in that way, I am going to present this deliverables today. And most probably, I'm just going to cover two medical imaging modality in this lecture. One is some kind of fundus imaging, and another one is the X-ray imaging. Okay, see, anybody is working with fundus images in this audience? Anybody is working with retinal images? Because this department is organized by biomedical engineering, I think most of the people may aware this kind of images. So then my part will be very simple and I can directly get into the research perspective. That's why I'm asking, is anybody working with X-ray images? Just X-ray images as a part of your project or maybe the part of your experience? Any audience? Okay, no, then no problem. So accordingly, I will be delivered. So if you have any doubts, any queries, you feel free to ask any time. So in between, so I'm happy to answer all the questions. Okay, so let me share my screen. Yeah, is my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir, thank you, madam. Okay. See here, my talk of today is computer-aided diagnosis, research perspective. So I belong to this research group of United Silcher, the biomedical imaging laboratory. Let's say before getting into the topic, so I want to highlight some of the the historical thing about my institute. Why? Because so we have connected through virtually. So in this pandemic time, it is very hard to visit this institute. Like at least this is the platform. At least you should know this history of this particular institute as well as the department. So first, initially, I'm going to spend 1 or 2 slides related to this institute. Then I will getting into the topic. So this is the institute which I belongs to. This is the National Institute of Technology, Silchar. This is one of the 31 among NIT in the country. Initially, it started in the year 1967 as a regional engineering college. Then later, it was migrated into the National Institute of Technology according to the NIT Act. And as you know, the Technical Institute, so it is offering many engineering and science and humanities program. And they have, a couple of postgraduate program in all the domain, which includes engineering, science, and management. And of course, this institute is having a lot of infrastructure. As you know, the Center Funding Institute, they have like a state-of-art laboratory and also the infrastructure, as well as they have a lot of, infrastructure for the working community. So the school is, this Kendriya Vidyalaya school is inbuilt and kids school inbuilt. So for the betterment of the faculty as well as staff. And recently, this NIT Silchar is ranked 47th among the engineering institutions in India. That will be stated by the NIRF ranking in 2019. And also, it is one of the top 10 NIT in the country. So it is the 9th top NIT in the country. So this like introduction of this institute. So this institute is currently like headed by this director, Professor Shivaji Bandabodai. So he's the current director of this institute, and you can see the one picture of this institute, the NIT Silchar, and this is the guest house complex of NIT Silchar campus. And after this, I want to show this drone view of this NIT Silchar campus. So everywhere you can find, the lakes, and in between the lakes, the buildings are constructed. And you can see everywhere the green beauty of the natural beauty of Assam state. And you can see here, like a lot of buildings are constructed in between this, forest. The whole are for like this forest. A lot of buildings are constructed. Like, see, you can see some of the like building. I can tell you, then you'll have some good experience. So, like in the virtual mode, like you can see here, this is the main building, the administrative building of NIT Silchar, administrative secretariat here. And also this is left side, you can find this guest house complex, so which is highlighted in the previous slide. And you can see here, they're all academic activities area. So all the departments we have here, mechanical and electrical, electronics, computer science, instrumentation, physics, chemistry, all these departments are in center of this like image. And you can see the entire last portion, this is a hostel complex of NIT Silchar. And you can see here the entire leftmost side, all are the quarters, the faculty and staff quarters of this campus. And you can see here the PhD Merit Scholar Hostel also here, the white building. And you can see the long view, there are a lot of water resources are there you can find. So this is one river is actually passing through the backside of NIT campus. The name of the river is called Barak River. And normally this Barak River is passing through the lower part of the Assam state. So that's why the lower part of Assam, they may call it is Barak Valley. And there are two major rivers is crossing in the state of Assam. And the upper Assam, the Brahmaputra is there, and the lower Assam, Barak Valley is there. And the upper Assam, the valley of Brahmaputra, the IIT Guwahati campus is there. And the lower part of Assam, the Barak Valley, like the NIT Silchar campus is there for serving the people of Assam. Okay, so this is the drone view of the whole NIT Silchar campus. And this campus is having 30 lakes inside the campus. So you can, everywhere you can find the lakes, the lot of water bodies inside the campus. Yeah, so this is one of the picture of this NIT library. So this we should be very proud to look into this particular image. I know why, what is the reason for that. So this is the library complex of Natty Silchar. So the name of this library is called Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Learning Resource Center. And this foundation stone was done by our former president of our country, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, in the year 2012. So after he's passed away, so the administration of Natty Silchar, they converted the name into Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Learning Center. And he visited the campus in the year 2012, and he conferred the degree of the same year. So you can find the statue of our former president here, and this is one of the most important favorite place in this Natty Silchar campus. And most importantly, this library is one of the largest library in South Asia. This is the front portion of this library and the main entrance of this library. So with this, I want to say one more slide, which the department which I belongs to. So I belongs to this Department of Electronics and Communication. And basically this department is offering 3 degrees. Basically as a technical institute, it is offering the BTech Electronics and Communication. And as well as this department is offering 2 major postgraduate degree, namely microelectronics and very large scale integration, as well as communication and signal processing engineering. And after that, the major degree which is awarded by the department is PhD, the Doctor of Philosophy. And this department is offering the PhD degree in all the domain, almost in all the specializations. So that PhD degree is awarded by this department. So with this, I'm just getting into this talk of the today lecture. So the topic of this today talk is that computer-aided diagnosis. So through the medical imaging perspective. See here, when you are talking about the medical imaging, of course, the image is the very important part of our day-to-day life. Let's say, after the invention of the smartphone, the statistics is telling that at least 1 image we are taking per day, right? Obviously, it's minimum. So it is more than that. But even though at least 1 image, by average, we are taking. Say in that way, images play a very, very important role in our day-to-day activities. Let's say here that image may be taken for for many purposes. Say for example, taking the selfie, and for capturing the nature and any other memories. And after that, the images play a very important role in the surveillance. Like nowadays, everywhere security is very important. So in that aspect, these images are very playing an important role in surveillance. The CCTV and other things which we come across. And after that, of course, apart from these kind of activities, the image is also very important for doing research. So the image which includes, it may be a computer vision research or medical research or any health related issue research. Okay, so say if you're in terms of medical research, the image is the major platform for finding any symptoms or identifying any diseases in the human body. Let's say in that case, medical images is very important in the part of research. Let's say here, let's coming to the images into medical images. So normally this medical images, it is the technique or it may be the domain for creating the visual representation of the interior of the body. So in terms of medical imaging perspective, or in let's say in medical images, it may create the visual representation of the human body. For what purpose? So far, it may be a clinical analysis or it may be a medical intervention. Okay. for identifying to represent visually the visual function of organ or tissue or something else. Okay, so that we can the basic definition or basic terms of this medical imaging. So in simple and short, the medical imaging is a process of creating the visual representation of the human body. So it is very simple. So from this medical imaging, so based on the sources of the medical images or how we are acquiring the medical images. Okay, so based on that, so we have n number of medical imaging modality. Okay, so when you are talking about medical imaging, so in terms of research perspective, or it may be the analysis perspective, so our input is basically on the medical images. So like say for example, if you want to do any research in the domain of medical imaging, so what will be your input? So your input should be a image, right? So your requirement should be a medical image. In other way, apart from the research, suppose the doctors or the clinicians or the radiologists, if they want to analyze any like the visual representation of the human body, so they may be taking or they may be acquiring the images. Okay, so for that purpose, we have n number of medical imaging modalities available. So the some very few medical imaging modality which I have listed in this particular slide. So most importantly, the the conventional and the easiest medical imaging modality is that radiology or radiography. We can simply call it as the X-ray imaging modality. The X-ray images, very simple. Say in these X-ray images comes under this modality. Let's say the radiography or the radiology. So which includes the fluoroscopy or mammography and much more. Okay, this is one very easiest and the conventional medical imaging modality, and of course it is very cost-effective modality also. So within 300-400 rupees, we can able to acquire this X-ray images. It's a very low-cost medical imaging modality. Okay, then the other important medical imaging modality is that CT. So if you go for any radiological center, or it may be in any hospital, so they may always call it a CT scan, like, but actually it is called computer tomography. So this is also very important medical imaging modality. So this both the first two medical imaging modalities are almost available in all the conventional hospital and clinics. And in some extent, some other medical imaging modality, which they are very costly imaging modality, but it can be helpful for analyzing the visual representation of the body. Let's say the nuclear medicine imaging, and other one is the SPECT and PET imaging. Say we can come across this PET imaging. Normally they may call it a PET scan. It's called positron emission tomography, and in other ways SPECT, that is also same kind of medical imaging modality. It's called single photon emission computer tomography. And apart from these category, the other very important medical imaging modality is that MRI. So normally this is very famous in terms of medicine. So if you have any issues, if you have any problem in the brain and other part of human body, so normally we'll go for the MRI acquisition. So it's called magnetic resonance imaging. And this MRI is very important in for analyzing this brain tumor or these kind of cancers and any other kind of symptom that we can acquire normally from this kind of MRI images. And of course, this is one of the costliest medical imaging modality. And after this category, so we have the two more set of medical imaging modality, which is called ultrasound imaging and the Doppler ultrasound imaging. So both are same, but this Doppler ultrasound is the advanced version of ultrasound imaging. So these two are the same category. Normally this medical imaging, this like modality maybe used to analyze the fetal movement of the pregnant woman. That we come across in our experience, this ultrasound imaging. And the last two category of medical imaging is especially it is helpful to acquire the like a human retina. Let's say the fundus imaging is one of the imaging modality to acquire the the fundus image or the retinal fundus image in the eye, that for the human eye. And the other one is also the optical coherence tomography. It will simply call it as in the field of medicine, OCT. So this OCT is also very important modality. So that is also like helpful to acquire the retinal images. Okay, because as you know, the retina is very, very important part in the eye. So this retina is it can help to find out any symptoms or the visual representation or the any visionary kind of issue or a visionary problem. So that's why this kind of imaging is very important for especially for the vision and other kind of like issues. So here, so these are a lot of medical imaging modalities are available in medical imaging perspective, but I have highlighted very few medical imaging modality here. And as far as my working or my research area of concern, I was working very few like medical imaging modality. It is based on the availability of the images. So I have been working with this radiological images, X-ray images, and I have been working with CT images. And sometimes I maybe work with this MRI images because a lot of MRI sources are available in the internet. And of course, I am largely working on this fundus imaging and optical coherence tomography imaging. Okay, so these are all the like area which I have been working as a part of my career. Let's say, so this particular presentation or this particular talk, I'm going to cover only two imaging medical imaging modality, because covering entire medical imaging within this 1.5 hours it is not possible. But I'm trying to deliver in an effective way. So how this kind of medical imaging may be utilized, and what kind of research you can able to do, and also what kind of outcome that I have produced through my research outcome. Okay, so these are all the plan of this particular talk. And so with this, so today talk, I'm going to cover the first primary part of the lecture is the fundus imaging, and also some kind of radiological image, X-ray images. So that two part I'm going to cover in this particular today lecture. And also I'm going to cover some of the deep learning algorithms, because in this 2020, everywhere you are talking about the deep learning. So I don't want to highlight what is this AI, machine learning and other thing, because people knows, because all are the engineering college teachers. So we know what is those things, and we know, we learn our experience what is this deep learning, because this deep learning is rolling this 2020 era. Almost all kind of researches is happened in only this kind of algorithms. So that I'm going to highlight some of the deep learning algorithm here. And also I'm planning to demonstrate on very simple deep learning algorithm for the diagnosis purpose, because this particular lecture I have prepared for computer aided diagnosis. So how we can utilize so this this medical imaging diagnosis with the help of this deep learning. So I may be demonstrate with the help of MATLAB, because running Python libraries take quite long time. So I'm just planning to deliver with MATLAB. So how to diagnose the medical images, and also in some of the other research ideas I want to like to deliver. So this is the plan of this particular today talk. Okay, so let's say I will just begin with the first imaging modality of the today talk. It is a fundus imaging. Okay, so what is fundus imaging? So basically, those who are working in this area, that will be very familiar, this particular term. But those who are very new, so this name which should also like come across some new experience, like fundus imaging. So what is this fundus imaging? Okay, so before getting into the fundus imaging, there is a relationship between the human eye and this fundus imaging. So that I will be delivered, then I will getting into the fundus imaging. Okay, let's say we know all our engineers and we know the anatomy of the human eye. And for a quick glance, you can see the anatomy of the human eye in this particular slide. And from this particular slide, the retina is located is almost the back side of our human eye. As you can see in this particular image, this is the typical anatomy, the anatomy of eye, and here it is the front side of our cornea and lens is there. And the retina is located, it is almost the back side of the human eye. Okay. So that information actually I want to convey from this anatomy of this eye. See, what is the necessity of acquiring and analyzing this retina? That is very important in terms of research perspective. Say, you can see here, you can the number of eye diseases are very, very less. And even you can imagine, like before the invention of this mobile phone and this laptop and these kind of display devices, so the people are habituated by for using these devices very less in the time in our day-to-day activities. But now in this pandemic time, almost even though we are the teacher, so we are spending almost minimum 8 to 10 hours in front of the computer monitor. So, so normally the teachers will be teaching with chalk and board, but now the situation is getting different. But every time the teachers is also, we are working with computer, like same as what computer engineers are working, right? So when the information technology is coming to the picture, so the the software engineers are almost working minimum 8 to 12 hours per day. Minimum 8 hours to 12 hours per day. Then what happens is that they are gradually reducing their vision. Monitoring a long time, so your eye maybe leads to some other. Okay, that's why you can compare before 10 years. So the number of eye hospitals in the cities are very, very less. But now you can see everywhere, almost in every 10 kilometer, we have the eye hospitals. Why? The reason is lot of eye diseases are coming. Okay, that's why the eye doctors are also getting increases, and also the eye hospitals also getting increases. And when you are looking to any TV channel, so they are also marketing like anything, day-to-day life. Let's say, like I want to name it, but they can say, if you have any problem, please come here. So that kind of advertisement also we are looking in our day-to-day activities, because the problem is they have a lot of visionary problem. But when you are coming to the research perspective, our retinal image is going to help to identify the different eye diseases. Okay, that's why these retinal images are very, very important in this particular eye. Okay, and of course, the past 15 to 20 years, a lot of eye researchers are coming, and but still this eye retinal images research is existing, because there is no universal research or universal outcome that may be produced, because day to day lot of eye diseases are coming, and most of the researchers and most of the doctors are working towards to finding the solution for those diseases. Okay, that's why a lot of research groups are working in India and as well as abroad in many universities. Let's say in that aspect, so the first primary part of my lecture will be getting into this retinal imaging. And let's say for the better understanding purpose of the audience, and this is one of the retinal image, which is normally we acquired from the fundus camera. I will tell you what is fundus camera in the further slide, but you can see in this particular slide, you know the where this like retina is located. This retina is located the back side of the eye, and this image you can see this is the closest view of this retinal image. So generally this retinal image consists of three major parts. One is the macula. It is the center part of our retina. So the normal color of this particular retina is that light dark red. You can see here, this is the center part of the retina, macula. And also, as you can see here, in the right side of this particular image, the light yellowish, light yellowish portion is there. This part is called optic nerve head, or you can call it as optic disc. Both are same. The light yellowish disc is called optic disc, and this is optic nerve head. And in more specifically, as you can see, this optic disc, the of this particular image, somewhat very light yellow, red yellow, and in some portion it is very bright yellow. You can see here. This bright yellow part is called cup, optic cup. Okay, so the background is called optic disc, and this inner portion, so wherever that bright you can see, that is called optic cup. Okay, because why I'm telling this kind of biological information of this particular retina is that in every part is very, very important to analyze such diseases. Say, I will tell you in my lecture, how these kind of parts is very important to analyze the different kind of diseases. And apart from these two biological structure, we have one more structure in this particular retina. It is not a structure, it is the vessels. As you can see here in this particular image, so the lot of vessels is moving, like going to, like this is called, in retinal part is called blood vessels. Okay, so in short, we can conclude the retina consists of three major parts. One is the macula, and another one is the optic disc or optic nerve head, and third one is the blood vessels. Because these three biological structures are very, very important to analyzing any retinal diseases. Okay. Okay. From this, I was talking about like fundus image like this. So why the name is coming? Actually, we are acquiring normally in a research framework, they will call it as fundus image. The reason is that, so this particular image, the retinal image, so we are acquiring from the fundus camera. As you can see here, this is the typical fundus camera. Okay, so if you have any eye visionary problem, you may experience this particular camera. So it is almost available in all the eye hospitals to acquire your retinal image. So this image is like acquired by the fundus camera. That's why the name of the image is called fundus image. Very simple. Okay, this is one kind of ophthalmoscope. Okay, so normally in terms of eye study in eye perspective, they call it as ophthalmoscope. This is one kind of indirect ophthalmoscope, the fundus camera. And normally this particular image can be acquired like this. So they have the trained clinicians in the eye hospital, and they may be sitting in the front side of the camera, and the patients, they may be asked to sit in the opposite of this particular camera, and they have the aperture lens here, and they will be operating this finding the distance based on the focal length, and they may be acquire your fundus image, your retinal images for doing the analysis purpose. With the help of this camera, they will acquire the images. And what happens is that in the back end, they have the computer software that may be helping to do the post processing, like in the retinal image. So in that way, they are acquiring these fundus images in the hospital. So that's why the name of this particular image is called fundus images. Okay. So next, I want to highlight what are the applications of this particular fundus images. Why we are acquiring these fundus images? As I told you, we are spending almost half of the day or 1/4 of the day with the help of this computer. Whether it can be a computer or it may be a laptop or mobile phone or something else, or tab or something else. But what happens is that when you are looking more time in the computer monitor, your eye will leads to some kind of pressure. Let's say we come across this pressure of this human, like especially those who are the diabetic patients, they may have a lot of blood pressure issues in that body. So it is not only for the human body, but also for the human eye. That is very important. Let's say if you are looking more time in the computer monitor, or you are spending more time with your computer monitor, what happens is that the eye liquid will come out from your eye. So that is the first symptoms for identifying the pressure of the eye. So that is very important. So like in the normal case, you can see your eye liquid will not come out. That will be inside this our eye. So when your eye is under pressure, then what happens is that your eye liquid will come out. Let's say I can tell you some more example, like now because of this pandemic, all the theater and malls are closed. That is different story. But if you have the experience to go for second show cinema, maybe the midnight, it will start from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And when you are coming to the work for the next immediate day in the early morning, when you don't have the proper sleep, then in the morning, you will have this kind of experience. Your eye liquid will come out from your eye. That means that you are not properly slept. So you have been opened your eyes in more time, and automatically the eye will your eye comes under the pressure. That is a symptom. So what happens is that if the situation is keep on continuing, then this eye will leads to some other diseases. Okay, this is so how we can identify these diseases with the help of this fundus images. How we can analyze these diseases with the help of this fundus images. That is one way of finding or analyzing the eye diseases. That is called fundus imaging. And other modality I told you, that OCT, the optical coherence tomography, that is very costliest medical imaging modality, and which is available only in the special eye hospital, not all the conventional hospital. As you can see, this majority of people are in and around the city of Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. But in our nearby the Dindigul, we have a very famous eye hospital, that is Aravind Eye Hospital in Madurai. Right? So in such kind of special and hospital only, they have the OCT instrument. But even in small eye hospitals also, this kind of fundus camera is available. So the cost of this particular fundus camera is around 2,50,000 rupees. Okay, so this is available in almost all the eye hospitals, and even some conventional clinics also, right? And so the point from this particular slide is that the fundus image having lot of applications to find out the eye diseases. Say for example, glaucoma. So this is one kind of eye diseases. So whenever if you go for a chance to visit any eye hospital, or it may be some other advertisements or something, you can find the captions. The glaucoma will be treated here. You can find it this sentence from any eye hospital. And when we are traveling through the bypass road, you can find these kind of eye hospital posters or the advertisement. They will be displayed this kind of advertisement. Say for example, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy are treated here. So these kind of the very dangerous disease in the eye. So for diagnosis of this particular eye, so the fundus imaging is very, very important medical imaging modality, because it is one of the low cost medical imaging modality. So not only for diseases, but we have the other diseases, like say macular degeneration. We call it as age related macular degeneration, and some other diseases. Okay, that is the major applications of this fundus images. So from this, I want to highlight some of the eye diseases. Okay, you can see here, based on the literature, based on my experience and study, as on date, there are 62 different kind of eye diseases are there. Like out of these 62 diseases, I'm highlighted some of the diseases in the red mark, because these are all the very common eye diseases for the human. And of course, this is most degenerative diseases, eye diseases. Say for example, the first one is the age-related macular degeneration. In the field of eye or in the field of ophthalmology, they may call it as AMD in very short, AMD. This particular disease will be affected by the aged people, those who are reached the 45 or 50 ages. So normally their vision will be the problem after the age of 50. So they may be very hard to see their vision. Okay, so that name of the disease called AMD. And of course, the other diseases which is I'm highlighting the red is called cataract. So as you can see in our own Tamil language, so we can call it as kannil pirai viludal. That we can call it as that, that same, this is the cataract. So this is one kind of very dangerous diseases. And of course, the other very dangerous diseases is diabetic eye disease. That's called diabetic retinopathy. Those who are having the diabetes mellitus, those are diabetes patients, so they will have this kind of diseases, diabetic retinopathy. And also, of course, one more diseases is highlighted here. It is called retinitis pigmentosa. This is also very dangerous diseases, but this is one kind of gene diseases. If your father is having these kind of diseases, then of course, the child will have this, lead to this kind of diseases. This is called retinitis pigmentosa. And of course, the glaucoma. So this is also one kind of diseases. And why I'm highlighting these kind of diseases, different diseases. So all the diseases are comes under in terms of research or maybe the discussion. Okay. So as a researcher, if you want to work with any one of the disease, that we can serve entire life from this research. So I may be working in some couple of diseases in this fundus images in my part of my research career. Let's say this AMD and diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma. Still, I'm not started at this retinitis pigmentosa, but I'm just started. And here, this is retinal detachment. I'm not highlighted here. This is also very, dangerous disease. So recently, I got one project in this retinal detachment, as Madam has given this introduction, the retinal detachment. This is also the upcoming diseases, eye diseases. Okay, from this kind of historical perspective, so I just switching into the research perspective from these eye diseases with some kind of basic introduction. Let's say here, this is the cataract, which I told you, the cataract, you can see here the white kind of bubble that will be formed above of our eye lenses. And if you have the normal vision, then your vision will be like this. If you have the cataract, then it will be leads to this blurred like vision. Okay, so when you are getting these kind of white particles are in your eye, then immediately you have to visit to the eye hospital. You have to consult the ophthalmologist. Okay, and of course, this is the another dangerous disease called age-related macular degeneration. So why the name is called macular? Because it will affect the macula of the human eye. As I told you in the beginning slide, the eye is consists of macula, optic disc, and blood vessel. The macula is the center part of the eye, because normally the age means that it will be affect the people more than 50 years. So the aged people, they will lose their center portion of the vision, but background they can able to see, but the center portion they will lose. That's why our grandfather or grandmother, our neighbors, or those who are in the elderly people, they will very hard to find their vision. See, suppose if you are going to them, they will see like they will keep their hand like this, then they will be able to try to find out the object like in front of them, like with the foreground of the vision image, but their center part will be gone. So that will be happen for majority of the like elderly people. Okay, so this is called age-related macular degeneration. And here the thing is that when you can see here the AMD eye, you can see here the center portion of this macula will be getting affected. So that you can find a lot of symptoms here that I will tell you in like further like explanations. So how as a researcher, as an engineer, how we can able to find out these symptoms automatically with the help of computer diagnosis or the help of the computer. Okay, that is one kind of discussion. And simply I'm just highlighting what is this AMD here, age-related macular degeneration here. And you can see here how this age-related macular degeneration is affecting by the elderly people. That I have an animation video here. I'm just going to play. Then you will get a clear idea about what is this AMD. Let's play. Let's check.
Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, is the leading cause of visual impairment and blindness in older Americans. It affects the retina, the light-sensitive layer of the eye. In early AMD, yellowish deposits form under the retina. They can result in distortion and gradual blurring of vision. As the disease progresses, more and larger deposits develop, and blood vessels grow up from beneath the retina and leak blood. The leaked blood causes damage to the retina. In advanced AMD, peripheral vision may remain, but the ability to clearly see straight ahead is lost.
Yeah, so this is the AMD, because this AMD is almost affected the center portion of the vision. Then the another disease is called glaucoma. So based on the statistics, this is the second largest vision loss disease in the world. Let's say, so how these diseases may be affected, you can see here, this particular disease is affected in the entire background, just opposite of AMD, but AMD will affect only the center portion, but in glaucoma, just opposite to that. So a center portion you can see, but whole background will be gone. So how these diseases are coming, it is based on the eye pressure. So most of the IT employees, the statistics is telling that most of the IT employees are affecting this particular diseases, glaucoma. Because what happens is that, so they are looking the computer monitor, working with monitor more time, and the late night sleep, and they're not sleeping properly. Then when keep on it is increasing, that your eye, those eye will be under pressure. Then if pressure is getting increased, then automatically they will like come affected by these kind of diseases, glaucoma. Okay, and that's why there's a lot of eye hospitals are coming to treat these kind of diseases, glaucoma. So what I'm like, that is one kind of story with this glaucoma. And another disease which I want to highlight is that retinitis pigmentosa. So this is very dangerous disease. This is level getting the gene transformation. So your his mother is having this kind of diseases, then of course the child will also having some kind of chance to affect this kind of diseases. And the major challenge of this particular diseases, only the small portion of the vision you can able to see, but rest of the parts are completely blank. Okay, you can't able to see. Okay, and especially this kind of diseases is more danger in the night time, in the night vision. And after this is the world leading cause of vision loss. This particular disease is called diabetic retinopathy. Most importantly, these diseases will affect for the diabetes mellitus people. Diabetes mellitus means the diabetes patients. See, if the people is having the diabetes, then they will have a more chance to like affect this particular disease. So what happens is that, so if you have the diabetes, then you have to go for a regular eye checkup in the hospital at least 6 months once. Okay, then only you can able to save your vision. So the major challenge is that if you know the diabetic retinopathy in the initial stages, then it is very easy to treat with the available laser treatment. But this diseases is getting advanced, it is very hard to treat. Then there is the only issue that so you have to you lost your vision. Okay, this is the most challenging disease, very critical disease. And importantly, you can see here this particular image. So this disease will affect in almost in all the parts of the retina. There is no the background or foreground, and there is no classification for affecting this this optic disc or blood vessel or the macula. It may be affect the entire portion of the retina. That's why it is one of the most dangerous disease, and of course this is a world leading cause of the vision loss, this disease. Okay, so the major challenge here coming in terms of research, and if the people is having diabetes, then they have to go for the clinical intervention, the clinical screening at least 6 months once. But the problem, like a developing country, India, like India, and we have only very less number of ophthalmologists are available, and we know that India is the leading cause of and the hub of the diabetic patients. This is a universal statement. On the whole, India is the largest producer of diabetes. And of course, they need more number of doctors and they need more number of hospitals. Then only they can able to screen these kind of diseases. Then only the people they can save their vision. Okay. So this is the issue. And here coming to the point, the number of eye doctors and hospitals are very less, but they have more number of diabetes patients in India. Okay. So how we can treat them in the timely manner? So of course, here the research will play a very important role. Say for example, instead of consulting to the doctors or the eye hospitals and waiting a long queue and getting appointment, and most of the researchers, they are working with automatic screening of the diabetic diseases or the diabetic retinopathy diseases. Okay, otherwise you can say the computer aided diagnosis of diabetic retinopathy. Okay, so this is like in that way, the researchers play a very, very important role in this particular diseases. And so from this, I want to say for example, how we can determine, how we can classify the normal eye and the diabetic retinopathy eye. So you can see here, there are two typical eye images which I given in this particular slide. Let's say the healthy eye, the first eye, only the normal retinal part you can see, the like optic disc and the fovea and other kind of retinal parts. And you can see the diabetic eye, the diabetic retinopathy eye, you can see the additional symptoms or the additional features, like say for example the aneurysm. Normally we call it as microaneurysms in the retina, and you can see the hemorrhages, cotton wool spots, and some kind of abnormal blood vessels. That means that breaking of the blood vessels. And apart from that, we have some other features called exudates. So some other feature is also there. So that means that, so these are all the symptoms, the clinical symptoms of the diabetic retinopathy. So here one point which we have to learn is that in a diabetic retinopathy, the first clinical symptoms of diabetic retinopathy is that microaneurysm. So this microaneurysm is nothing but it will be create the small red kind of feature in the human eye. That means that your eye, the diabetic patients, they have started the diabetic retinopathy is started in the initial stage. When if it is not treated in the timely, then it will the size of the microaneurysm getting enlarged, then it will leads to the some other retinal features like hemorrhages, cottonwood spots, exudates, and some other features. Okay, so here what happens is that as I told you, the screening of diabetic patient is very important. So in that way, the computer-aided diagnosis play a very important role here. Suppose if the diabetic patient, they have to go for the clinical screening every 6 months, but instead of going to hospital, if they have like any computer-aided program, then they can treat, they can screen themselves whether these kinds of symptoms are available in the eye or not. If the symptoms are available, then they can go for the hospital and they are taking the appointment for the doctor. Otherwise, so they can comfortably stay with their home itself and no need to go for the screening. Okay. So in that way, this kind of computer-aided diagnosis will help for the diabetic patients. And you can see here, based on the feature which we have discussed, like microaneurysms and exudate and other cottonwood spots in the eye. So based on the features presence, the diabetic retinopathy can be divided into two major types, like based on the like International Clinical Diabetic Retinopathy scale, based on the like severity scale. So normally this diabetic retinopathy is divided into two. One is proliferative retinopathy and another one is the non-proliferative retinopathy. And the non-proliferative retinopathy is the initial stage. It may be further divided into three categories. It is based on the features which is identified. Let's say it is called mild non-proliferative and moderate like non-proliferative retinopathy and severe. Let's say very simple, mild, moderate, and severe, and finally it will leads to the proliferative retinopathy. Okay, and this is severity scale in terms of the diabetic retinopathy. And when you are closely looking into the imaging perspective of this diabetic retinopathy effect, in terms of different stages, as we can see here, this is the stage 1, that means the early non-proliferative retinopathy. And you can see here very small microaneurysms will be present and the number of microaneurysms are very less. That's why it's early. And if you can lead to the second stage, when this microaneurysm is getting enlarged, then automatically this size will be increased and it will lead to some other features called exudate and cottonwood spots and hemorrhages and etc. And it will lead to the some other stages like you can say moderate and these kind of advanced to proliferate. Okay. If you can able to find these first two stages, then it is very easy to treat in the hospital, and which will go the fourth stages, maybe the advanced or after this proliferative, it is very hard to treat and that your vision can automatically lost their vision. So that is kind of effect of diabetic retinopathy. Okay. So now with the help of this kind of available biological information and the available input, so how the researcher can be contribute to treat, to screen these diseases in the early stages. So that we need to propose in like that we need to discuss in terms of the image processing perspective, in medical imaging perspective. Let's say here, for example, if you want to screen the diabetic retinopathy, then what we have to do, in two ways, so we can treat in terms of research, with the help of any conventional image processing, as well as we can go for any machine learning algorithm. But in terms of the conventional image processing, for screening these kind of diseases, so that we have to work with conventional image processing steps. Say, for example, the pre-processing, segmentation, feature extraction, and feature selection and classifications. Okay, so this is the conventional image processing steps that we have to work. But the major challenges for the researcher in terms of the diabetic retinopathy is that to identifying the correct features. So here, this conventional computer aided diagnosis, that we need to define the feature. So based on the feature only, then we can able to diagnose these diseases effectively. Okay, so this is a major challenges in this conventional image processing. But when coming to the machine learning perspective, especially in the deep learning perspective, so the identification of this feature is, we can simply eliminate this step, because the deep learning algorithm or the deep learning architecture itself, they can identify the feature with the help of this what images we are going to apply. Then automatically that image can be, that disease can be screened. Like, so in that way, this deep learning algorithms are very famous in this like 2020 era. As you can see, what happens is that the major challenge to propose any deep learning architecture, or you can use the deep learning algorithm, is that you need the large amount of data. You need the large amount of input images. So you have to acquire more number of images. Then only the deep learning algorithm can produce the better outcome. Okay, this is the only challenge here. But the major issue we can address here is no need to identify any manual feature, because the deep learning architecture itself, they can identify the features. Okay, so this is the major advantage what we are getting from this deep learning architecture. So what we have to do, so in the deep learning architecture, so we need to train the large amount of data. Then, like, with the help of this large amount of data, that we have to go for the parameter tuning. Then after we are getting the trained network, if you go for any testing network, you can test any images. Then the trained network, they can classify whether the eye is the diabetic retinopathy eye or the non-diabetic retinopathy eye. So in other ways, if it is the diabetic retinopathy eye, we can able to classify whether it can be a mild or moderate or any advanced stages. In that way also, these kind of deep learning algorithms are like outperforming well in terms of research. Okay. I think, I hope you understand this difference between this, like conventional image processing as well as the deep learning perspective, especially in the computer diagnosis. But here the major issue is that the deep learning networks are always the data hungry network. So it will be outperform well when if you are giving the more amount of data, more amount of images. That is the one thing. So this I already explained the difference between the machine learning and the deep learning. So again, I'm just simply highlighting for the like those who are unaware of this deep learning. Let's say this is the deep learning is derived from the machine learning algorithm, and the difference between this machine learning and deep learning algorithm is that feature extraction. So in machine learning algorithm, the feature extraction step we have to manually do. Then we have to propose the classifier. And in deep learning, these two steps are merging, feature extraction and classification. The developed deep neural network itself, they can extract the feature, then they classify the particular diseases or object, whatever it is. Okay. And of course, this deep learning network, how it can be identify the feature, it is based on the brain inspired learning. Let's say, for example, they have the deep analyzing bio inspired learning network inside. So in that way, they are identifying the features. Let's say, for example, how it is working. Say, suppose if you want to learn any definition from one textbook, if you read one textbook, then you can get some information related to the definition. Suppose if you are reading the same definition in 100 different books, then obviously, so you will get the clear, understanding of those particular definitions. So in that way, the deep learning networks are working with the help of this brain inspired learning. And most importantly, in the bio inspired learning, in the deep learning framework, and the convolutional neural network is one of the very famous deep learning algorithm, which will be utilized in all kind of researcher for many diagnosis purpose. You can see here the simple architecture of this convolutional neural network is that, so they have the convolutional layer and the polling layer, so in the hidden layer of the neuron, and also we have the classification layer, like the fully connected layer here, And when we'll go for the output prediction, so we have to use the softmax layer of the CNN, the convolutional neural network, to identify, to classify those particular like object or diseases, whatever it is. Okay, so this is the very conventionally used the deep learning algorithm. It is name of this convolutional neural network. So when you are closely looking to the architecture of the deep convolutional neural network, so the deep convolutional neural network, they have convolution layer and polling layer in the hidden layer, and you can select the how many number of layers as you want, that you can select. Then you can go for the classification layer as the fully connected. Then we'll go for the, with the help of a softmax layer, so you can identify the classification. So this is the basic and simple architecture of the deep convolutional neural network. As you can see here, in the hidden layer, there are two major operations this convolutional neural network is performed. One is the convolution process, and another one is the polling process. So how this convolutional and this polling process are happen, that will tell you. But before that, how the deep learning, this convolutional neural network are analyzing the features in the bio-inspired learning. That means that the deep analysis of this particular feature. If say here, if you can consider this is the input image. So this input image having the 4x4 like matrix or 4x4. So if you want to identify the depth process, that you have to define the number of volume of the input, whether it can be a 2x2 or it can be a 3x3 or it can be a 4x4. So based on this particular stride process, the feature can be analyzed in the depth way. Okay, then other way, like in the hidden layer of the convolutional neural network, they have to perform the convolution operation. So this convolution operation can be performed based on the the size of the filter we have selected. Suppose if you can assume this is the input image, and suppose we are defining the 3x3 filter, convolutional filter here, and these 3x3 filter that we can match with the 3x3 filter of the input matrix, then we can find the convolved output, the convolved feature, that is the basic convolution operation, nothing in that. So in that way, so you can able to find the convolved feature in each and every pixels. Okay, so here the convolution is the major steps. We are like doing this convolution there. And also when you are coming to the other process in the hidden layer is that the polling layer. And here in the polling layer, there are two types of polling is there. One is the max polling and another one is the minimum polling. So the polling can be performed based on the filter, that what kind of filter we can going to consider based on the stride. And you suppose if you are assuming the 2x2 filter for 2 stride, then what happens is that like in the 2x2 filter, here 6, 4, 5, 4, the 2x2. So if you are getting the max polling layer, out of these 4 pixel, the 6 is the maximum. So here we are getting the 6. Suppose if we are going to apply the minimum polling, so we will get 4 matrix here. So in that way, so we can perform the polling operation. But most importantly, in majority of the medical imaging problem, the max polling layer is max polling operation is performed, because the medical images, when you're talking about the medical images, the resolution play a very important role. If you want to consider the better resolution, then we have to go for the max resolution, max polling operation. Okay, so this available, with the help of this available machine learning input, so I want to highlight one problem here. Say for example, you can see here how this traditional machine learning is working for the fundus image analysis. So for example, if I'm considering one fundus images here, and so what we have to do, the traditional machine learning algorithm, so I have to extract the features first. Then after the extraction of the feature, then I have to list out the feature. So what features I want to use. Then these feature that will put into the classification layer. Then finally, the machine learning algorithm that will produce the output. So this is what traditionally that the machine learning algorithms are working. But when you are coming to the deep learning architecture, the deep learning network in terms of this fundus image perspective. So the deep learning network, as I told you, it is a bio-inspired learning. So this architecture itself, they have the flexibility to analyze the feature. But in a deep learning, they will analyze in the different level of feature. Let's say, for example, low level feature, then it will go for mid level feature, then finally it will go for high level feature. So for analyzing these kind of level of feature, then the network can be trainable to classify those. So in that way, the deep learning can be helpful. Okay. And you can say here in the deep learning process, so what we have to do, so we have to define the more amount of data that we have to train in the network. And here what happens is that once if you have the sufficient amount of data, then you can define these the hidden layer of the neuron, that may be the low level feature or mid level feature and high level feature. And based on these features, then you can get the corresponding output. Okay, so this is the process that we happen in the represent in the deep learning process. Okay, so here up to this, so I can give you some small demonstration if time permit. It will not more than 5 minutes. I think now the time is 12:45, and maybe I will take 5 to 10 minutes here for the demonstration of the deep learning. As you can see here, can you able to see my screen, my desktop?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, see, you can see here, now I was demonstrated some kind of, available input with this deep learning and fundus images. So what I am doing here, going to highlight some just demonstration for this deep learning algorithm. So here in my desktop, I am just maintaining one folder. It's called fundus deep learning. So I'm just opening this particular folder. So in this folder, I'm just maintaining one data set. That name of this data set 1, and in this data set I have maintained 2 folders, one in, that is 1 and 2. And in number 1, what I'm doing, so I'm just save 2 number of images. So especially this is the normal images of the human eye, and you can say here I have saved another images. This is also the normal images here. Okay, and in folder number 2, I just saved some abnormal images. As you can see the difference between the normal images and abnormal images. In the normal image, so it is that image will be very clear. Here there is no feature symptoms like microaneurysms and exudate and other kind of features. But here you can find a lot of features are there, the abnormal symptoms are there. So that's why here you can see this is also some kind of other abnormal images. Okay, I have just saved these 2 images. Okay, so in desktop I have this data set, only 2 images. Why I have considered only 2 data set? Because I'm just going, when I'm going to run, I'm going to train this particular program. So if I'm having the less number of images, then the system will take less computational time. Otherwise, what happens is that if the number of images are more, then the deep network, they will take more computational time to train the architecture. So in that way, for explanatory purpose, I was given only 2 images. So there are 2 images which is I given. One is a normal case and another one is the abnormal case. Okay, so like what you can see here, and suppose you have MATLAB. I think everybody knows like MATLAB software, so I don't want to mess that. So here what happens is that, so I'm going to use the convolutional neural network here. Okay, so the CNN network here. So how we can utilize this CNN network in this particular screening of this normal and abnormal cases of fundus images. So first I have to maintain this data set. So what I'm doing here, so I'll just explain step by step, then you can easily understand here. Here I'm just opening, like I mentioned, the MATLAB root here. So my file is in desktop, and the data path is, my path is the fundus learning in dataset 1. And here what happens is that if you mention the data path, automatically that system that will read the path. Okay, then then after reading the path, so I'm just saving the data into the train data as the variable. And after this initialization for reading this data set, data path, and I'm just going to define the convolutional neural network here. So we know that the convolutional neural network consists of different layer, convolutional layer, and there is max pooling layer and softmax layer. And here what happens is that I'm just defining this convolutional layer like here as a layer as a variable. So here what happens is that I'm just mentioning the input image, the image input layer. So I'm just mentioning the size. It is based on the how much amount of that size of the input which I have maintained in my desktop. And next I'm going to define the convolutional layer. So here I'm just using the convolutional 2D layer in the CNN network. So how much amount of that information that we have to mention. So I'm just mentioning the size 5 and 20 metrics. And the same way, so I have to use the value layer, rectified linear unit for the activation function. And the same way, I'm just mentioning the max polling layer with the help of max polling 2D layer function. And that we have to mention the size of the filter and stride process in the max polling layer. And you can use repeatedly how much amount of the hidden layer that you want to perform. Let's say, for example, here I'm using only the two-step process for the convolution and max polling process. Then finally, I'm using the fully connected layer here. So in the fully connected layer, that you have to define based on the classification problem. So I explained in my desktop, I have maintained only the normal and abnormal cases for the classification. That's why I'm mentioning here too, only that it's a binary class problem. Like if you want to go for more number of classification, that you have to mention that much amount of fully connected layer. Then you can use softmax layer from the fully connected, then it will automatically classify. So what kind of this particular image that will be classified. And this is the basic structure of defining this convolutional neural network. So once if you have defining this layer, then you have to train that network. Let's say, for example, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to train the network with the train data. So the train data which is available in my MATLAB path. And so what layer, what network I'm going to use, the CNN network, so which I have defined in the function layer. So we can use for the layers here. And after that, what we have to do, so I have to mention the options here. So the options means that, so for any network, so we have to mention the what are the parameters that we want to do. So what are the hyperparameter that we want to do. So that we have to mention here. Okay. So in a for training the backpropagation algorithm. Okay. So here what happens is that, so after defining this net, then you can use the a convolutional network. Then automatically this convolutional neural network that can be trained in this in this variable convolutional neural network. And after here, what happens is that, as you can see here, I'm just hiding the option. Why I'm just hiding the options means that, so I'm having only the single desktop. So if I'm running this program, it will take long computational time. The single CPU, the single desktop will not be compatible to run this deep architecture. So for that, we need any workstation or any GPU server. Okay, then only it will be able to perform it. But I'm just hiding the option. That option means that for defining the hyperparameter. So the hyperparameter is that what are the training algorithm you have to select, and what are the max number of epoch, and what are the plot we want to perform, that we have to define. So based on these value, so the network can able to perform in a better way. Okay, and once it is defining that, then I have to go for here the classification. So if I say, for example, once the network is trained, then I have to go for the testing process. Say, for example, if I'm going to test the test number 1, say, for example, in the normal case, then what happens is that I have to define the the reading of the test data. So what is the size of that? Then what can be classified? Then whether it can be a normal case or abnormal case. So that I have to define. Okay, so here this is very simple convolutional neural network program I just developed for only the better understanding. Here some of the parameter which I have hidden because it will take long computational time based on the selection of the hyperparameter of the training of this particular CNN network. Let's say if I run this particular program, so what happens is that I'm just testing the test number 1, and you can see here. So this is that image that what I'm going to test it. You can see here this is the network. say what happens is that this is the normal case. Some error is coming. Okay, so okay, the option is disabled here, so that I have to enable it. Sorry, this maybe in French. So the network is training now. So based on the parameter, so this network is busy now. So it is just training the network. So the deep network, it will be trained based on this available number of options. That means a hyperparameter. And as you can see, the training time and validations and everything. So say for example, if I'm given the number of maximum iteration is 15. So by the time this network can be run. Okay, so the training process is keep on running. So it is just to reach the maximum iterations. Okay, so here, once the network is trained, then what happens is that then you can easily able to test the network. Let me like run this, train this network, then I will coming back. So in further, I will just, by the time I will complete my further discussion, then I will coming to here. So how this network can be identified. And you can see here, this kind of work which I have carried out in this beginning of this particular year. And this is one kind of work which I have carried out in my lab. Say, for example, I've used this convolutional neural network for training the network. And, here the most important and the novel thing which we have did here is the data augmentation process. Say for classifying this retinal fundus images, so we need large amount of data. But normally the most of the researchers, they have used the online images and the real-time images. But here in this work, we have to club in all the images, both the online and the real-time images, which I have collected from the eye hospital. That is very near the Chilchar Medical College Hospital is there. So from there we have collected and we have to the data augmentation process. Then once I train the network, then the network has produced the better results. Whether it can be a normal image or it may be abnormal eye. And the most important thing is the data augmentation. So based on the resolution of the images, so we have used the data augmentation process in this work. And the data set which is we have used in this particular work is that IDRD data set, which is the publicly available data set, and the ROC data set, retinopathy online challenge data set for fundus images. And also we have used the 100 number of images from the local eye hospital. Okay, so these are all the sample images which have been used. And what happens is that while I'm like from this presentation, so when you are going for any computer aided diagnosis for the medical data analytics using deep learning, so these are all the challenges normally we have to face. So what are the challenges? One is the data collection. So if you want to work with medical data, so you have to go for the medical hospital or hospital, then you have to collect the data. But who will ready to spare their time? Nobody is having time, right? So that is one kind of challenge. And after, if you are getting the data and you have to train the model, so I was running my architecture, but still it is running. So it will take long computational time. It is depends on the system configuration. That is, the model is also very important. Suppose if you mention the number of iteration more, then automatically you take that much of time. And another thing is that result. Say if you in the field of medical imaging, if you are getting the result, then as an engineer, as a researcher, we can't judge whether it is the optimum result or not. Then what we have to do, so we have to depend with the concerned doctor. Then only we'll getting the output, So in that way, so these are all the some of the challenges normally we'll face in the medical learning, medical imaging perspective. Okay. So for addressing this kind of issue nowadays, a lot of pre-trained networks are available. So I have used the simple convolutional neural network in this particular program, which it is running. But as a researcher, you can use some other pre-trained network that is also available in the freely for the researcher, like say AlexNet, GoogleNet, VGG, Inception, ResNet, SequenceNet. Much more networks are available. So that is also you can use in your research career. And here, those if you are working with this particular deep learning architecture, so whenever as a researcher, so you have to work with some novel algorithm. That is very important. So in that case, so you can use some kind of novel algorithms are available, like say transfer learning, extreme learning, optimized learning. Like much training algorithms are available. But these algorithms are very, very important. But because of the limited time, I'm not going to explain very further. I'm just quickly go through this particular work. Then you will get some kind of knowledge. And if I'm explaining in further what is this, I think you can just Google it. You will get all the informations. Let's say this transfer learning, extreme learning, optimized learning. This kind of learning can help to the depends upon the problem what you have selected. Say for example, if you consider this present scenario, so I have been working with this COVID-19 images for diagnosis purpose, for automatic diagnosis purpose with computer-aided diagnosis. So recently I have developed this architectures called eDiconet. So it is publicly available. So you can download the source code from my GitHub library. Okay, so my GitHub library you can download. Just type in Google NIT Chilcher biomedical lab. You will get the GitHub library. So in the GitHub library, all my source codes are available. So you can just download. You can run it from your own place. Nothing wrong. So if you have any doubt, just post in the share, in the chat box. Sure, I will help you that. See here, this particular architecture, this eDiconet architecture. So we have used extreme learning machine, for training the deep neural network for diagnosis of COVID-19. So why? Because so in the initial time, so online they have a very few amount of images. But this extreme learning machine classifier is one of the best option to train with a small amount of data. Okay, so that way this extreme learning is very important in the deep learning network, train the deep learning network. Then after that, I have developed one more architecture is called OptCoNet. Told you as I enabled in the program. So based on the hyperparameter only, the network, deep neural network, they can able to produce the better output. But here, the most challenging job is selection of the correct parameter. So in this particular network, how many iteration it will produce a better output, right? So for avoiding those kind of challenges, so here I have used the optimization algorithm to optimize the training parameter. So here I have used the Gray Wolf optimization algorithm, which is proposed by this particular data scientist, Saeed Ali Mirjalili. He is Australian data scientist. He belongs to the Torrance University Research Group. So I have utilized this particular optimization. So that's why I collaborated with him, this research, for developing this OptCoNet architecture for classifying the COVID-19 pneumonia and normal patient images. Because why? This pneumonia is also, it's a part of this COVID-19. So that we have to classify the difference of the lung portion of this particular COVID-19 images. Okay, so this is one way that optimization algorithm is also play a very important role in this, to propose a novel deep learning architecture. And you can see here the another work which I have carried out is called in the part of optimization part in the CT images. The first two work which I have carried out with this just X-ray images, but this work is the CT images. the computer tomography images, but for screening these computer tomography images, only few less number of images are available in the internet. So here, what I have used the GAN architecture. The GAN means a generative adversarial network. This network is proposed by the the data scientist called Ian Goodfellow. Is a part of a Google research scientist, and he proposed this particular network, generative adversarial network. So the GAN, it consists of generator and the discriminator. So what they will do, the generator, they will generate more amount of data with the input, and the discriminator, they can able to find the which amount data is correct and which one is the fake. So in that way, so we can identify the particular classifiers for those diseases. But here I have used the GAN architecture for generating more number of CT images, because I'm going to use the ResNet 50 pre-trained network here for training the network. For training the network, if you use the going to use ResNet 50, you need more amount of data. But here what happens is that the number of available CT images is very less. Okay, that's why I'm just using the GAN architecture to generate more number of CT images. Then you can able to classify this COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 images. So this architecture is also publicly available in my GitHub library. It's OptGAN, so you can just download and just work it out. And here we have used a different optimization algorithm. This is the name of the algorithm is called Whale optimization algorithm. Okay, so up to now, so I just want to conclude my lecture. So my presentation is that so a lot of key research problems are available in the field of medical imaging. But I was highlighted only the two areas. One is fundus imaging and another one is this COVID-19 chest X-ray images. So we have a lot of research problems are available. Let's say this diagnosis of COVID-19 and lung segmentation of COVID-19. And of course, the retinal image detection, classification and segmentation is one of the major problem always for the researcher. And of course, this MRI images is the evergreen research problem for the researcher. And like cancer detection, that is also very important in any type of cancer that we have to detect, classify and segment. This is also the evergreen problem. So you can select any of the problem as your research career. And apart from this, recently this particular problem is very famous in the research framework. It's called image to image translation. That means that automatic translation of image to text or text to image. So this is also a very important research problem. So I can suggest you can select any one of the research work. They can work at a part of your research career. And the conclusion of this today talk is that the deep learning is almost overruling in everywhere, especially in the field of medical imaging. Either it can be for computer-aided detection, or it may be a computer-aided diagnosis, or it may be developing any tools for quantitative imaging tools, and also it can help for developing some decision support tools. Nowadays, most of the mobile-based tools are also very famous. So in that, deep learning is helping to develop such tools. And in future, I'm sure this medical imaging is almost overloaded by the two-dimensional images. So they are almost occupied this 3D and 4D image analysis in medical imaging perspective. So in future, I hope all our researchers will be getting towards to work with the 3D and 4D images. And so these are all the data set. So if you want to select the fundus imaging as the research career, a lot of data sets are publicly available. So you can utilize these data sets and the whole information which is given in this slide. And if you want to work with any this X-ray images, especially for working with COVID-19, normal and pneumonia, so you can refer my paper, OpcoNet paper, the link which is given, all the data set, which is freely available. You can download and work. And in addition, I'm just going to highlight this tool. It is publicly available, available for image processing beginner. If you have the image processing beginner, you can download and just hands on this particular tool, because this is like a GUI tool. You no need to work, you no need to write any program. So it is just openly available, and you can, the name of the tool is computer vision and image processing tool. So if you have any problem in the programming, so this tool can help you to understand all the better understanding of all the image processing algorithm. And these are all the websites which I have used for this presentation, and these are all some of the textbooks which I have used for the fundus imaging and medical imaging. And these are all the like evergreen textbooks in the field of artificial intelligence, pattern recognition, machine learning, and deep learning. And finally, I'm just concluding my lecture with these informations. So my lab in biomedical imaging lab, it's always open for all the researcher. If you want to collaborate with like my lab or with me, so you are always welcome. You can write the mail. So definitely I will help you to collaborate with you. And also I'm just providing the opportunity for doing the internship for the BTech and MTech students. So if you want to do any internship, you feel free to write to my mail. And also if you want to do any PhD under my guidance or in my institute, I'm happy to help you and guide you for getting the PhD admission in my institute. Where normally in the NIT Silchar, it is offering two kind of PhD. One is the Group A and Group B. Group A PhD fellowship, it's fully sponsored PhD. The government will pay for you the scholarship of 31,000 per month and all infrastructure that will be provide you. So then that way also you can apply a full-time PhD here. And if you're not able to do the full-time PhD, then you can apply for Group P category. So in the Group P also there are two modes there, non-scholarship and part-time PhD. So the non-scholarship means that the government will not provide any scholarship, but you can stay in the campus, but they will give you the infrastructure, they will give you the quarters, you can stay here, you can work for the PhD, then you'll get the full-time. Otherwise, you can go for the part-time PhD. Part-time PhD means the first semester you have to stay in the campus, then after that you can work anywhere in any part of the country. Then once you're satisfying the criteria of the institute, then it will offer the PhD degree. So in that way also, this institute is helping to all the researchers throughout the country and abroad. So if you have any queries, if you want any doubt, you can feel free to write to my mail. I'm always ready to help you all. Okay. So with this, I'm just concluding my lecture. So if you have any queries, please, you can ask. I'm happy to answer some queries. Let's say, actually this program is still running. I think it will take time. So I think you can just see. So once the program is running, automatically the output, it will come whether it can be a normal images or abnormal images. That's all, nothing else. Okay, so this program is also available in GitHub library. So you can download and you can just run it your own. Okay, so with this, I'm just concluding my lecture. And so if you have any query, so I'm just feel free to answer with you. So thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, any queries?
First of all, are you enjoyed or not? Because I was just continuously talking because I don't know how much I have satisfied the audience. But anyhow, I tried to my level to satisfy with you.
One participant is asking your mail ID, sir.
Yeah, madam, my mail ID is very simple. You can share to the participant. I think it's available with you.
Okay, sir. Okay,
yeah,
sir.
no problem. Otherwise you can type in Google. It is very simple. Type my name, Murugan NIT Silchar. You will get my website first itself. Murugan NIT Silchar. You will get the website there. All my mobile number, mail ID, everything is available. Everything is open.
Okay, sir. Any queries? Any queries from the audience, participants? Sir, from my side, one question.
Yeah, madam, please.
Sir, say regarding images, we are selecting neural networks and corresponding algorithms for deep learning, sir. Say, how it can be done, sir? For different images, it can be different, or
Madam, actually, I'm not getting your question. What is your exact question? You are using some
How it can be
images.
selected, sir? How the algorithm is
Like you are using some images and you are using some neural network, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh.
See, if we
What?
if we work on it, how can we say which is better, or how can we select which is better algorithm, and we can carry on the research?
Okay. So that your question is how to select a better algorithm, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, madam. Actually, I can tell you almost this when the technology is coming to this like the artificial neural network into deep learning, so almost the technologies are outdated one by one. Say for example, in the 5 years back, this artificial neural network everywhere, 10 years back, they are talking at ANN. But now the technology is totally outdated, madam, because lot of research is already done. But now the people are started, then machine learning, then deep learning is going to outdated, madam. Deep learning is also going to outdated. Now the people are working with the generative adversarial network, GAN architecture. Okay, and recently the GAN is also going to outdated. The other version of GAN is released by other Chinese scientists called conditional GAN architecture. Okay, ma'am, based on your question, like there are different kind of steps is there while playing with this, while like developing any kind of selection of any algorithm. You can use any architecture. It is not a matter whether you can select ANN or you can select any neural network architecture, or it may be a a deep learning or machine learning or GAN or conditional GAN. It doesn't matter. But the thing is that like the selection of the better algorithm in terms of the technique. So here, when you are going to use the deep learning, because the algorithm is very generic. So if you select the convolutional neural network, what part you can able to contribute? In two ways you can able to contribute. Either one way it may be in application side, or in other way you can go for the like developing a unique architecture. Okay, so from the researcher, developing a unique architecture is itself, it is a big challenge. Say for example, how many number of convolutional layer you can select, how many number of pooling layer you can select, so that you have to select the unique architecture for your images, for your problem. So that is one kind of like research area you can able to contribute. And another way is that how to train the network. So what kind of algorithm you can able to propose to train the network? That's why I highlighted some of the algorithm. You can use transfer learning, you can use optimized learning, you can use this like extreme learning. Only these few, but more number of algorithms are there. Suppose if you're going for any optimization algorithm, so normally it is comes under the meta heuristic algorithm. We have n number of meta heuristic algorithms. Say for example, if I'm using one Bayes optimization algorithm, this particular algorithm that may be used for only this work. If I'm going to use this algorithm for other work, it may not like produce a better outcome. So in that way, so you have to select the other optimization algorithm, let's say ant colony optimization, and you can go for this other PSO particle swarm optimization, other optimization algorithm. So the selection of algorithm, it is based on like the work, it is based on the literature. So that you have to select and you have to try to apply. So which algorithm is able to produce a better result, then you can suggest your like methodology. So I have tried these many algorithm. Out of this can be outperform well for my application, for my own image. So in that way, so you can able to contribute the algorithm.
By comparing a number of algorithms only, you can say which is better.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
What are the new challenges recently in the medical field?
Yeah, sir, challenges I was highlighted here. Some of the challenges I researched new findings in that.
Yeah.
But most importantly, in most of the research group, like if you go for any, the new, like those who are working in IITs and NITs in our country and the other part of country, so they're working like with like the translation of images. Say for example, what happens is that if you have some medical images, only they need some experienced people to identify the feature, what it is. But the researchers are now working the translation, image to text to translation, text to image translation. Say, for example, if you are uploading one fundus image in that particular algorithm, that algorithm itself, they will automatically text it. These are the problem. These are all the disease you have. So this is one kind of common like research is going on. But challenges is everywhere it is there, sir. When you, that's why talking to the medical imaging challenges, you are even starting with working with medical images itself, it is a challenges. Like some of the few challenges I have addressed, say for example, collection of data and the selection of model, and with available these resources, let's say available, the computational facilities. See, suppose if you want to work with machine learning, basically you need workstation. Then only you can able to perform this result. You can just think of that, how many of them we have such facility in our laboratory, in our engineering college? No one, very few are here. Even though NIT, even my office, I don't have GPU, but even NIT, I'm having the CPU facility in my laboratory. Okay, so there I can go and work. Okay, but these are all the challenges, the practical challenges for the researchers to, like in the field of medical imaging.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any queries? Any other queries? No. Shubha ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of Biomedical Engineering, PSNA College of Engineering and Technology. I would like to thank Dr. R. Murugan, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, National Institute of Technology, Silchar, Assam, who gave a very nice talk on computer-aided diagnosis of medical images, a research perspective. I hope the participants who are involved in the research work, definitely they get some clear idea to carry out their further process in the eye image processing by using the deep learning technique. Thank you very much, sir. This was really a very informative session for us. You are really sharing a enormous amount of data with us. Really, it is very useful. Particularly, you are going to initiate the research. They are definitely very helpful in your lecture. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
The feedback is already posted. Dear participants, fill your feedback form, and we will meet you again in the afternoon session, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, we'll meet you again. Thank you. Rangraj sir, is there any clarification? Raised hand. Nothing, sir. Okay, thank you.